We wake up every morning surrounded by objects. A phone on the bedside table, a glass of water, a door handle, a light switch, a toothbrush. They seem ordinary, simple, even boring. But behind each of them hides an entire world of decisions. Choices made by people we'll never meet, in places we'll never see. And yet, those choices quietly shape how we move, how we think, how we live. The world, as it turns out, isn't just built, it's designed. Most of us don't notice it. We see a cup and think of what it holds, not how it fits in our hand. We use a chair without thinking of the invisible geometry that makes sitting possible. But every curve, every edge, every click and contour has a reason. A hidden logic buried beneath years of trial, failure, and refinement. The modern world is a museum of invisible design. Everything that feels effortless is built on layers of complexity. The more natural something feels, the harder someone worked to make it so. And that's the irony of design. The better it is, the less we see it. Consider something as small as a paperclip. It's almost laughably simple, a loop of bent wire. But it represents the result of decades of experimentation in friction, elasticity, and ergonomics. Someone once decided that this exact curve of steel, this specific tension, was the perfect balance between grip and release. It's an entire engineering story condensed into a single twist of metal. Or think of the shape of a doorknob. It's not round by accident. Its diameter, weight, and texture are tuned to the physics of the human hand. The exact pressure you apply to turn it, the smooth resistance, it's all designed so that something mechanical feels instinctive. The most human designs are the ones that disappear into the background of life. When you start to notice this hidden world, everything changes. You begin to see patterns everywhere. The rhythm of stairs matching the stride of your legs. The height of a countertop aligning with the average elbow. The sound of a car door closing calibrated to trigger a sense of safety. You realize that the world wasn't just made for us. It was made from us. From our biology, our psychology, our imperfections. Design, in its purest form, is humanity translated into matter. But there's a deeper layer to this story, one that's easy to miss. Because design doesn't just shape our environment, it shapes our behavior. The placement of buttons on a phone screen can change how long we use it. The spacing of products on a supermarket shelf can change what we buy. The layout of a room can change how we feel inside it. We often think we control objects, but sometimes they control us. Design isn't just about things. It's about influence. Every object around you has a voice. It speaks to your instincts. A round button invites a press. We love simplicity. It's elegant. It's clean. It's modern. But simplicity is not what it seems. Because true simplicity isn't the absence of complexity. It's the mastery of it. It's the designer's quiet rebellion against chaos. Every great design begins messy. There are hundreds of sketches, prototypes, failures. Each one adds something, then takes something away, until what remains looks inevitable, as if it could never have been any other way. But it could have thousands of ways. The perfect form is not found by chance. It's carved out of confusion. Think of the iPhone. The average user sees a rectangle of glass and metal, clean, intuitive, minimalist. But beneath that surface lives a labyrinth of circuits, chips, and algorithms working in perfect harmony. You don't see the thousands of decisions, you feel their result. The simplicity of the design hides the enormity of the effort behind it. And that's the paradox. Simplicity isn't the starting point. It's the destination. In a world overloaded with noise, simple things become sacred. They offer clarity in a fog of distraction. A well-designed object doesn't just work. It feels right. It respects your attention. It earns your trust. It whispers instead of shouting. That's why we gravitate toward things that just make sense. They remind us of what our minds are always craving: order, rhythm, and peace. But here's the catch. What feels simple to one person can feel alien to another. Simplicity depends on context. A modern faucet looks simple to us, but to someone from a century ago it would look absurdly complex. Likewise, a stone tool once represented ultimate simplicity. Now, it feels primitive. Simplicity is never fixed. It evolves with understanding. And in that evolution, we find something beautiful. The way our relationship with objects matures, the way design follows consciousness. We learn to see through clutter, to crave what feels natural, human, honest. Every era defines its own version of simple. Ours just happens to be digital. Part 3: The Psychology of Everyday Form. Every shape around us is a psychological signal. A circle, a square, a triangle, they don't just look different, they feel different. A circle feels friendly. A triangle feels sharp, dangerous. A square feels stable, safe. Designers know this. They use it to speak a language beyond words. When you hold an object, you're not just touching it. It's touching you. The smooth texture of a phone, the satisfying click of a button, the curve of a handle, all of them are designed to trigger emotion, to reassure, to invite, to comfort. Good design doesn't scream, "Look at me." It quietly says, "Trust me." This is why we anthropomorphize objects. We give them personalities, intentions, even moods. A car with round headlights looks friendly. One with sharp edges looks aggressive. The design cues are so powerful, we read emotion into machines. Human history can be told through objects. Not kings or wars or dates, but the tools we made. The stone blade, the wheel, the printing press, the smartphone. Each one redefined what it meant to be human. Objects have always been our partners in evolution. Every new invention rewired our minds. The wheel taught us motion. The mirror taught us identity. The book taught us reflection. The screen taught us immediacy. Each time we invent something, it invents us back. Even the smallest object carries a cultural fingerprint. A spoon is not just a utensil. It's a symbol of nurture. A chair is not just furniture, it's a declaration that humans sit, not crouch. A clock doesn't just measure time. It creates it, dividing our lives into measurable units. The world's logic lives inside its objects. We think we own them, but in truth, they own parts of us. Every object we design reshapes the designer. Every tool we craft becomes an extension of the hand, and eventually the mind. That's the hidden loop of human progress. We shape our tools, and then they shape us. Part 5: Design, Power, and Control. Design is never neutral. Every decision, every curve, every material, every color carries values. It says something about who holds the power to shape the world. Why is a remote control filled with buttons you never use? Why is public seating deliberately uncomfortable? Why do fast food chairs make you leave faster? Because design is a language of control. A designer can guide your movement, your attention, even your choices. In the right hands, that's harmony. In the wrong hands, it's manipulation. The built world can liberate us or limit us. Cities designed around cars trap people without them. Products designed for profit ignore sustainability. Interfaces designed for engagement don't care about well-being. The hidden logic of design is not always benevolent. Sometimes it serves those who build, not those who live. But awareness is the first act of freedom. Once you start seeing the logic behind things, you start questioning them. Why is this shaped like that? Who benefits from it? What assumptions does it carry? In that moment, design transforms from invisible to visible. And visibility is power. The next era of design won't be defined by objects, but by invisibility. Interfaces will dissolve into gestures. AI will predict our needs before we speak them. Objects will sense our mood, adapt to our habits, learn our patterns. First, it will feel like magic. Then, it will feel like dependency. Because the more seamless technology becomes, the less we understand it. And when we no longer understand something, we stop questioning it. That's the hidden danger of perfect design. It makes the world too easy. We may soon live in homes that anticipate us, devices that listen to us, cars that drive us, and systems that decide for us. Convenience will be the currency. Control will be the cost. The question isn't just what the future will look like. It's what kind of humans that future will create. Part 7: Epilogue. Seeing the unseen. Look around you. Every object in your life, every shape, sound, and texture. carries a secret story. You don't need to be a designer to read it. You only need to look closely. Design is the autobiography of civilization, written in the language of things. The world didn't just happen. It was composed. From the curve of a cup to the hum of a refrigerator. The hidden logic of everyday objects is proof that meaning can live anywhere, even in the quietest corners of existence. When you start to see it, nothing looks ordinary again, because the truth is, there are no ordinary things, only extraordinary stories, disguised as the everyday.